Welcome to Tuesday, August 16th, 2021. Changes are on the way, folks. We are going to definitely see a big shift in the weather pattern across the western United States. This will make a lot of you happy, some of you not, but a lot of you. Hot, hazy, and breezy for one more day. There's a lot of heat getting pushed out ahead of this storm, so we're going to have smoke, haze, breezy conditions, and there will be many areas in the 80s and 90s pushing 100 in some areas of western Nebraska and eastern Colorado. But big relief is coming to especially Montana, Idaho, Utah. Those are the three states that are going to get the biggest relief. Parts of Wyoming, Colorado, the Dakotas, parts of Nebraska as well. We're not going to see the heat get erased completely the further south you are, and we'll show you that. But most of the northern and central areas of this region will definitely cool off. And we're going to see the summer heat go to more to the eastern side of the nation for the rest of August into early September. Here's today's satellite photo, and here it is. We've got the upper level low right here, and if you were to look, you can see there's a little bit of a swirl here, the counterclockwise spin with this low, and the blue here is showing that the tops of the clouds are cold, which is indicating a pretty strong system. So this system is going to be coming out of British Columbia and slowly migrating south and east here over the next couple of days. But ahead of the system, the counterclockwise flow around this low is drawing desert heat into the high plains and Rockies. This is why it's going to be hot out here ahead of the system, then sharply colder on the backside of the system. And that contrast in air masses is going to result in the shower and thunderstorm activity coming into the region. Great news up here today with the wildfires, especially in British Columbia. They should most of them get rained on with much cooler temperatures and higher humidity. And this is what it looks like if you were to turn that satellite photo into a 500 millibar chart. This is a chart showing the winds and conditions at 18,000 feet. You can see we've got this high pressure ridge building up here in the Gulf of Alaska. And anytime you see a high pressure ridge there, we're just going to cool off. That's just the way it works. And then you'll see the heat shift more into the eastern areas of the United States. So here comes the heat, backside of it, here comes the cold. And as we go into today's temperatures relative to average, pretty interesting. It looks like a sandwich. Here's the heat coming in out ahead of the low. We continue to have cooler than average temperatures in the southern areas of the United States. Here's the colder air that's coming in out of western Canada. Look at Alaska. Now look at that. Alaska's really turned cooler here lately, and that trend is going to continue. So the warmest of warm in North America is right on top of us, but we're going to see that cooler air coming on in, and this is what it looks like by Thursday afternoon. This is a pretty impressive trough, folks, for this time of August. Now, this is something that we would see maybe right around Labor Day or afterwards. So this is a pretty significant little trough coming through the region. That's why it's going to be such a good producer of weather. Look at this high. That is a strong high pressure ridge, and the stronger that ridge is, the more the change will be downstream from it. And then here's the heat building into the southern and eastern areas of the United States. So the tables are really turning on us. It's really a 180-degree shift. By Sunday morning, that low actually heads back up to Hudson Bay, but there's another low coming in behind it, and there's actually a little bit of a cold front coming in late Saturday night and early Sunday. That will direct more cool air into the northern Rockies, and then the heat gets set up in the southeastern United States, which just makes it easy for more tropical weather to come into Mexico and possibly the Gulf of Mexico, and as well as the East Coast in the coming weeks. Temperatures over the next 10 days. If you were to add all the highs and lows together over the next 10 days, compare them to the normal temperatures for this time of year, anywhere you see blue or green, below average temperatures over a whole 10-day period. The orange means above average if you add the 10 days up. So the real big relief in the heat isn't going to get down into here. There'll be some, but parts of eastern Colorado, western Kansas, into parts of the Corn Belt are still going to stay summer warm. But from the western slope of Colorado through Wyoming, the western Dakotas, all the way back to here, even look at this, even Southern California, temperatures on the whole over the next 10 days will be below average. But the bullseye of the coolness will be right here over south central and central Montana and northern areas of Wyoming, areas that needed to get cool and areas that need to get rain. Look at this, the On top of the green there, look at the precipitation forecast. This is through Friday. So north central, northeastern Wyoming, western areas of the Dakotas. Look at central and western Montana, parts of the Bitterroot of Idaho, eastern Idaho. Look at the Wasatch of Utah. Look at Utah and Colorado's western slope, and look at southwestern Wyoming. You know, around Big Piney, Pinedale, Rock Springs, River Evanston, back over to Rawlins. You know, this area is really dry. Those areas are going to do well. We're really hoping Johnson County, Sheridan County, Wyoming will get into some good chances of rain. They really, really need it. Bighorn Basin areas as well. Yellowstone Park. Now, as you get further into southeastern Wyoming and eastern Colorado, notice the rain is not as widespread. I think there will be more showers and storms here than the model is showing. But the further south and east you are, you're not going to get into the precipitation as much. This is definitely an area more like here where we're going to see most of the action with this trough in front moving on through. But if we can get rainfall amounts, even half of this, that will be extremely helpful. Snow forecast, we showed you this slide yesterday, and it does show that the higher mountains of Wyoming, even the Uintas of Utah, Montana, look at this. You know, Rocky Mountain Park in Colorado, the higher peaks around Aspen and Vail could get a few flakes of snow. Again, nothing really serious, but you know, if this model ends up being correct, if you're going to take Togwotee Pass from Du Bois over to Jackson, let's say Wednesday or Thursday night, you could get snowed on. Maybe even Powder River Pass over the Bighorns. Now, if we were to look further out, I want to show you what the trends are like in the long-range modeling because it's encouraging. This is the updated European model that goes out to 46 days. So basically this takes us from now all the way to October 1st. And notice a change. We've got better chances of rain in the northern plains and the northern Rockies. This is a big departure from where we were over the summer. This would be great news for Montana. Look at the green over Wyoming, Utah, western areas of Colorado, into Nebraska, the Dakotas. Kind of a shift to a more wet pattern. Now, normally this isn't a terribly wet time of year, so you have to kind of factor that in, but it looks a lot better in those areas than it has all summer. If we were to look at the snowfall through October 1st, yeah, look at this. Now, this is just a model. I'm kind of having some fun with you here, but this is something we'll keep watching. Basically, what the long-range model from the European Center is saying is that by the end of September into early October, it will be cool enough that we will start to maybe even see the chances for a few flakes of snow by the latter half, maybe that last week of September into early October. Of course, that could change, but the writing is on the wall that the tail end of summer is arriving this week. Have yourself a good Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.